There is a saying in Arabic that states every person receives whatever is in proportion to their intention. This saying is actually true, that your intention determines what you get in life. And this is extensively covered in the previous episode, so I recommend watching it before this one to get the most value out of this topic. There's another saying that you probably know: hell is paved with good intentions. This saying is completely untrue. As mentioned in the previous episode, there are no good or bad intentions, only aligned or misaligned ones. Your alignment determines the quality of the results, good or bad. Hell is paved with good intentions. What they're trying to say is that people wanted to do good, but they ended up making it worse. That means that they were not aligned. I would say hell is paved with misaligned intentions. Hello, and welcome to another episode of WolfeSound podcast. This is a continuation of the intention setting episode, and I will offer you 5 things to start doing so that you can clarify your path towards your intentions and to reach your goals, because the intention setting needs a lot of clarity and no more anxiety in your life. And then I will share 5 things that will happen once you do that, and 5 ways for the peaceful living that you're going to achieve after. So intentions need a clean environment, and that environment starts within, to cleanse yourself inside so that you can have a clean environment externally as well. This will help you accelerate materializing your goals. So first thing is to declutter your whole life. And under decluttering, we're going to mention 5 things, starting with your mind. Decluttering your mind, you will encounter so many thoughts that generate anxiety and worry of the future, and lots of guilt and regret and things in the past, and rarely anything from the present moment. So you have to start to treat your mind the way you would treat your computer, unless your computer is completely cluttered. But you gotta look into your mind and see all the thoughts and all the things that you think about that are just sitting there gathering dust and creating more anxiety for you. The other part of decluttering your mind is, what are you exposing yourself to? Because if you are looking at what's wrong and looking at a mountain of things that you have to do, and you're overwhelming yourself, it's gonna be very difficult and challenging for you to make clear and concise decisions that would be the best, that would have the best results for you. So whenever you are overwhelmed, it means you're trying to figure out everything at once and do everything at once. This actually causes you to be a lot less productive. And people say they're busy and they have to do all of these things, and they're running around like a headless chicken. So they don't realize that if you just stop and take one task at a time, prioritize, and remove anything that is not a priority and it's not even important, it's just a habit of I have to do everything and I have to answer everybody. So this is very important. Another part of decluttering your mind is looking into your integrity. Now, we all step out of integrity because a lot of us are afraid. We're always worried and anxious and afraid of what's going to happen. We're worried about our well-being. People who are not able to afford things, and like they are poor, they're worried about how they're going to eat. And people who have money, they're worried about losing it and how they're going to invest it. And it's actually a personality thing. It's a mindset thing. It has nothing to do with what you have and don't have. It's the way you look at things. The integrity of your character, and that fear causes you to make a lot of mistakes when dealing with people and your business, because you're making decisions that are stemming from that fear, and then you end up messing up and create anxiety in the people that you deal with as well. So you got to declutter your conscience and your mind, because if you don't do that, you're going to just drown in that vicious cycle of anxious living. Number 2 is declutter your finances. First, look at where you're wasting money, and I bet you're wasting it somewhere. These little things add up. Whatever you're doing on a daily basis, you are probably getting things that you don't really need. You're not aware that a lot of the stuff in your home are barely ever used. You have to see where you are bleeding your finances. If you are a business owner, are you hiring incompetent people just because they get less of a salary, or are you outsourcing services and they don't deliver? That's also bleeding of finances, and you don't realize it. So don't go for what's easy. Sometimes you need to invest in things more, because they last longer. So in the long run, they're actually cheaper, like clothes and shoes. And there are certain things you need to buy the higher quality, not the brand. I'm talking about the higher quality, fine quality, so that it lasts longer, and stop accumulating things that you don't actually need or use. Declutter your home. You have no idea. Every object that you have, everything that you have around you is asking you for attention. Everything. It weighs heavy on the home. The clutter. First of all, it being in a cluttered environment causes you to be to lose clarity, the mental clarity and the peace of mind. When you go home, you don't want to look at the pigsty. What you want is to know where everything is and start to get rid of all the things that are holding energy from the past that does not speak of who you are now. All these energies, believe it or not, you keep them alive by hoarding this stuff. So start to throw away things that are broken and or gathering dust, or they are expired or whatever, and then start to also offer charity. Not the shitty stuff. Give them the things that you're not using. It's okay, and it's actually nice to you invested in something, you ended up not using it. Somebody else will be very happy with it. And what's going to happen, you're going to feel this lightness of being. It's going to happen instantly. Give it a try. You don't have to do it all at once, but at least do some of that one step at a time and see how that feels. And once you experience that feeling once, you're going to want to keep doing that. There are also things in the home that we feel guilty about letting go because they're attached to certain memories. But if these memories are, first of all, memories are in the heart, and if these memories are actually reminding you of a time that you don't want to go back to, then it's extremely healthy decision to release them as well. Number 3, your relationships. Who is in your life? Don't call everybody a friend, because a friend is a big word. It's through trials and errors. It's through being there for each other, supporting each other, genuinely being happy for each other when things go right, and genuinely being there, walking the path with you when things are challenging. They don't just walk away or just gossip about you. Who are you calling a friend? And is your circle discussing other people or dramas and problems and the news and all this dystopian kind of energy going around in your circle? Or are you looking for solutions together? Are you laughing from the heart together? Are you thinking about creating something? Are you encouraging each other? Are you bringing the best out of each other? Or are you just getting drunk every day and numbing or going for drugs and whatever? All these things take away from your energy or mental clarity into the next day and the next day and the next day. There's no, if you have great potential to give meaning to your life and to really be successful in whatever you're doing, and I know every person has something special to offer, there's no way you're going to be able to do this if you're working all the time but moving around like a headless chicken and then getting drunk and numbing or taking prescription medication. There is no way you're going to have clarity. And all these things, while they numb in the beginning, they eventually they change your brain, they change the way you behave, they create anger in you, they create anxiety and guilt, and it's a vicious cycle. I don't believe you can have abundance or wealth, not just financial, but in general in your life, if you're not clear of these addictions. They can also be excessive TV watching, shopping whenever you feel bad, or whatever addiction, whatever thing that you're leaning on just to avoid looking at your life. And it's completely understandable that it's a very scary process, but it's only scary at first, like everything else. Just take that step, because what's on the other side is really incredible. If you're sitting with people that are always negative or abusive or belittling, or you know that they don't really have your best interest at heart, then it's a shame to lose that time, because you're not only wasting time while you're with them, but the overall quality of your life goes down. So it has a long lasting after effect to it, and you need to detox on every level. Number 4, think of the way that you look at life and the way that you generate a lot of anxiety for yourself. Are you choosing to be straightforward and honest? Or are you, because you don't know what you want and you don't know what you afford, and you didn't do inventory of your life in general, you start to ask for things that you can't afford. You cannot really go around being in debt just to get something that may or may not be valuable to you. Now, if you invest in the right things, then make sure that you can afford it. And if you can't, don't ask for it. See, what I would do is that I look at something I really need and it's going to add value. I see how much it is. And then I go first figure out how I can afford it before I go and ask for it, so I don't generate debt. The debt is, this is kind of tied up with the decluttering of money, because debt is not only putting you in a position where you have to pay interest, financial interest to banks and stuff like that. The interest that happens when you owe somebody something, whether it's material or not, is you sitting in anxiety and guilt, trying to putting tremendous effort avoiding the person, feeling shit about yourself, feeling like a complete coward or asshole. So you got to figure out how to remove that drama from your life. If you have everything in clear order and putting your priorities straight, you're going to actually realize that you have so much more than you actually think you do, because you're no longer bleeding things out for no reason, and you know exactly what you're doing, you know what you need and what you don't need. So the inventory has to be precise and clear, and once you do that, it's amazing. If you write it with pen and paper, especially your priorities, what you have, what you need to get, what you no longer will tolerate, like paying, like think of how much you're paying a month for subscriptions you don't use. how much you're paying for alcohol that wastes like the day and the next day, for how much are you paying for drugs, and then how much are you refusing to pay when things are actually adding value to you. So you got to declutter this tendency of self-destructive behavior just because it's what you don't. Number 5, stop tolerating mediocrity from yourself, from other people. I'm not saying you're going to go around and yell at people if they're mediocre. I'm saying that don't tolerate it in yourself, and don't be around it either, because even if you have big dreams and you have great potential, if you are around people that don't want to move forward with their lives, you're a human being, you're going to go down. Nobody is strong enough to be able to be in an environment that is demotivating and still succeed. So you have to be very aware of that. So here are 5 things you're going to receive once you start to declutter your life. First, clarity. Clarity is extremely important because you're going to see everything so clearly in front of you that you no longer have to overwhelm yourself with a million things that you think you have to do, and 90% of them are not even important. They're just there to stress you out. You're going to have order in your life. That means when you have that easy routine, you wake up better, you sleep better, your day has intention, you know exactly what you want out of your day, out of your week, year, and your whole life. And you're going to end up saying yes to the things that complement that, and say no. That way you're no to the things that deviate from that path. So your decision-making process is going to be extremely simple. Number 3, you're going to have inner peace. And it should really be number 1 and the last point as well. Like, it's all we really want is inner peace. So, but you have to go to do a few different things, like with the decluttering and all of that, in order to achieve it, especially your mindset. The mindset is so important. Number 4, you're going to have genuine joy. Instead of dragging your feet and hating your day for having to go to work and having to sit with certain people and having to meet your obligations and demands of everybody and the world around you, you're going to actually connect with genuine joy. Joy without any other external assistance. Joy is not about you going out and to the bar and whatever. It's not about getting something that you really wanted either. You're gonna have your home emotion set as joy, regardless of what's happening, so that you can have this clarity of mind, that presence of mind, to deal with things in a much calmer way. Number 5, you're going to open gates to a real flow of abundance and wealth. All the clutter, whether it's mental, physical, financial, whatever, all the clutter energetically blocks the flow. It's like you don't have space to receive anymore. What you are hoarding, what is around you, what you accept in your life, you actually increase. You get more of that. And if you clear that away, think of it as a space. Now you have space for that flow, that abundance to enter. You cannot have it both ways. Try it out, because we are made of energy. This life is made of energy. It's extremely spiritual, but extremely scientific as well. Try it out and you're going to see the evidence for yourself. So the final thing to sum up everything is how to really have, once you've decluttered and now you know what you're going to receive from it, how you can then move into this peaceful living. Everything is clear. Your home is clean. Your mind is clean. Your environment is clean. Okay? Social circle and everything. Then the next step, you're going to meditate and set intentions. Now, meditation is not about just sitting in silence and or music or breathing. It's not only that. Everything in life is a meditation. A meditation is this passive concentration, meaning that you connect with your true self. Your true self is the observer. You are not the thoughts, you're not what you're doing, you're not the job, you're not all of this. You're the observer. You're the witness. You're the one who is watching your life unfold. Okay? So you connect with meditation. Everything you do, be present with it and don't get distracted by anything else. Just be present, whether you are working, you're writing, you're talking to someone, you're listening. Be present. And that's more than enough of meditation. And from that point, that clarity, that alignment and integrity, you're going to then set clear intentions. What is it that I want is your objective, and why do I want it? What is really your true intention? You have to name it correctly. Don't say, oh, I want a lot of money. Okay, what is it that's going to give you? It's going to give me freedom. Great. What's it going to feel like to have freedom? Peace and joy. So start backwards. If you want to have it, you got to start backwards. You're going to have to generate that emotion. And from that emotion, you're going to have a sense of freedom. And that sense of freedom you're not going to be desperate anymore. You're going to be very clear. And then you're going to make that space to make the right decisions and take inspired action. And inspired action, that is point number 3. Inspired action means that I'm not just living randomly and going around in circles and trying to figure everything out at once. Inspired action means that I have cleared everything. I am in a state of joy and peace and meditation. I have a lot of clarity in my mind, and that action is an answer to that. I know exactly what I'm doing, right? So that's very, very important. That way, when you take inspired action, you are a lot more in control of the end result of your life. Number 4, once the path is clear and you take that inspired action, these actions are made from inspired decisions, meaning that you know exactly what you want out of your life. Now you figure out the path to take because your eye is on the destination. You're not being distracted back and forth every day. You know, you have a destination, you keep your eye on it, and that's where you're going. And the inspired decision means that everything that complements that path and that goal, you're going to say yes to, and everything else, you're going to say no to. So if you want to have a healthy relationship, then you have to be healthy yourself and clear away from unhealthy people. That's a no. That's an easy no. Anybody who inspires you and supports you and listens to you, that's a yes. If you want money, then you cannot be overspending, and you cannot be going into debt to other people. You cannot drag people with you in the chaos that you're creating. You need to be very clear and just hold yourself to very high standards. Number 5, keep your goals private. Whether the person you're sharing it with is someone who's good or bad, or somebody who wishes you well and somebody who doesn't, energies do interfere. Keep things private because it has many facets of this. First of all, when we share something, when we announce something before we achieve it, our egos get satisfied. We get this we get this attention that we like, the ego likes, right? Not us as the observer, but the ego likes it very much. So then it sends a signal that it's already achieved, because that's the intention and goal of the ego, is to have that kind of validation. So don't share things before, because if your ego interferes with the intention of the ego to have this validation, you might get confused and think, okay, it's already done, because that's the intention. So don't behave from the place of ego. Be like, act and set goals based on your true calling, your authentic path, your spirit, and your higher self. And your higher self doesn't need the validation. It doesn't need to announce everything. And it will go through whatever it has to go through in order to achieve the goal. And once it's achieved, then you can share with everybody. The other one, if you're superstitious, envy is an energy. Some people don't have your best interest at heart. And that, because that envy is a powerful energy, it can actually mess up with your goal energetically. Now, practically speaking, it can also interfere in the sense, if somebody is overly malicious and envious, they can get out of their way to ruin it for you. So you have nothing to gain from sharing anything you are yet to do. Okay? So I think that sums it up. If you listen to the previous episode on intention setting, this is an extension of it to show you how to get closer to setting healthy intentions. Remember to be in clarity and peace and meditation. That way you can set intentions with clarity, and the intentions are going to come from your authentic self and your higher goals and your soul, versus your ego, because your ego always has intentions as well. And while you can succeed at manifesting the ego-based intentions, it's not going to do you any good service in the long run. And I'm sure a lot of you feel that, because as you can see, the result in the world right now, people are generally complaining, they're anxious and fearful. And now it's expressing itself by harming each other, even though, like, you can be around people that are actually good people, but they're so misaligned that they end up harming you with them, because they are acting out of fear and ego and anxiety. Once you figure out how to cleanse all of that, you never know who you can also inspire around you. And if you don't, it's fine, as long as you keep your area clean. And the way you're going to deal with anybody, even malicious people, it's going to have very different results when you are aligned. Give it a try, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.